YouTube, it's Will from Will Development. This is my 271st weekly update. First things first, I want to address the fact that I realize I am late. And it is going to be blamed on the holidays and the fact that I was off Thursday, Friday, and today being Saturday. Totally lost track of my days. Didn't even realize it. I had my head wrapped up in the fact that I was going to be competing a little bit today. Not even really competing, just having a little fun lift. Honestly, it wasn't a competition for me anyway. I wasn't there to compete per se. I was just there to have a good time and lift a car a couple times if I could manage. So I'll just go through the week and then I'll talk about today since I can. And Monday hit a lifetime PR of 160 by 3 on press. Went pretty good. I'm actually probably going to repeat that weight again on Monday just to increase the range of motion a little bit. I came down to basically just at or below the chin, just at it. And that's not, that's an acceptable range of motion, but it's not really where I want to be. I would rather be definitely below the chin and usually even touching the collarbone just to make sure that range of motion is really, really large. Recruit as much muscle as possible. Tuesday was squats. I want to say worked up to God, my gut says 265. If not 265, it was 255 for a set of 3 on the Hatfields, which felt good. Those have been feeling really good on my back and my hip. I believe it's a great move I've made there. Very good decision to start doing those. Wednesday off. Thursday was bench. Went for 265, and it was the weirdest thing. All the sets, every single set, the third rep on every set was just like, what is going on? I just couldn't get past 2 reps and make it look good. First 2 reps would be great, and then that third rep was just blech. So I ended up getting my set of 3 top set at 255, and I went for 265, and I ended up only getting 2 on it, and that third rep was just bad. So, you know, it's one of those weeks. It happens. Friday, yesterday, was deadlifts. And I was feeling a little nasty yesterday, and I actually was, everything was pulling pretty well, so I ended up just throwing 315 on there and saying, let me see if I can get this for 3. And I ended up doing it. I ended up, first rep was great, second rep was like a 9 out of 10, and then the third rep was like a 8.5, 7.5 out of 10. Nothing extreme, just didn't stay quite as tight as I really would like to, and that's okay. Might repeat that weight again next week just to make it happen. That being said, I did some deadlifting, quote-unquote deadlifting today with the car deadlift. It's closer to a squat than a deadlift, but there's still a lot of your pulling muscles in your back and your hips. There's just a little more glutes and quads, kind of like a squat. And like I said, ew, what is that? It's a rock. Like I said, it wasn't. I wasn't really going there to win anything. I just wanted to have a good time and lift a car a couple times. It was a good charity event for a good cause, and it was cool because we were deadlifting a Mustang, which, if you know me, you know I love Mustangs. It's my favorite muscle car, and it was cool. Deadlifting the Mustang. I learned a bit. This was actually my first time doing it in a comp. I've pulled on a car deadlift apparatus one time before in my life, and it wasn't even loaded with a car, so it was literally for like 3 reps, just to be like, oh, what's this like? Oh, okay, that's neat. And I figured out the straps I had originally planned on using were just not working. I had these super long straps I wanted to work with, and they just failed me on the very first rep. They just slid right off. Tried the second rep with them, and I was like, wow, not happening. So I just took the straps off and just pulled strapless. I pulled 2 reps with just my hands, just essentially the equivalent of double overhand. And then remembered, hey, you pull all your deadlifts with hook grip, why don't you give that a shot? And put hook grip on and pulled, 3 or 4 more reps. I got to 7, and I was like, you know what, I'm not injured. I'm not winning this. I said, you know, I probably got like maybe 4 more in me. And I think the next lowest person was like 14 or something. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to call it. I'm not injured. Let me just call it and have a good time here. And so I did. I called it at 7 reps. And so that was cool still. And it was a fun little event. Not little. It was actually a pretty big event. It was a fun event. I had a good time. The drive back sucked. I actually just got back a couple minutes ago. I'm very tired and very proud to have competed in the event and proud of not getting injured. So remember, there is a community. No matter what kind of fitness or training you're into, there is a community, and I think everybody would do good to reach out to that community and not get pigeonholed into just the usual people you see or train with. I think it's a good benefit to get out there and meet as many people as you can in the particular, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess sport, the particular sport you're involved in. Because this was a USS show, and normally I've only competed in Strongman Corporation. But I'm knowing more and more people in USS, and it's a good crowd over on that side of the state too. So I say get out there, and every once in a while do some lifts just for fun. Even if it's it was technically a competition, but I literally just went to have a good time. I actually texted the promoter 2 days before the event and was like, hey man, I don't know how my hip and back's going to be day of, so, if I get there and I'm like, yeah, this ain't happening, is that cool? And he was just like, oh yeah, no problem, so I wasn't sure if I would get the one. I ended up getting 7, and I ended up being, I think, the only guy who pulled without straps at any point, because I'm an idiot, but now I know for sure never to use those particular straps on that implement. So it's good that I learned that lesson on I didn't even want to say non-sanctioned, because technically it was sanctioned, but on a show that wasn't, it didn't carry a lot of weight in my career. Let's put it that way. But again, it's a good time to remind everybody that you should be having a good time, and there's nothing wrong with just going to some sort of event or show just for fun. And if you're not doing that, then what's your excuse?